Hey guys, what's going on? Happy Sunday. Welcome back into the window. It's the sports betting podcast where we try to turn a losing hobby into a legitimate side hustle. And yesterday we did just that. We went 2 out of 3 in the NBA. We had Josh Hart over 4.5 assists for the Knicks. He didn't get there. But we had Dylan Harper over 14.5 points. He got there. And then we had the game total under 216.5. That got there. So a little bit of profit there. And I'm going to go back through our WNBA bets because we had a good day there as well. I'll start with the losses, of course, in the WNBA. But first thing I want to say is I hope you have a great day. I hope you put forth the best version of yourself to the people who care about you the most. They deserve that from you. You deserve that for you. So put your best foot forward. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go giving alms to the poor, but just be nice. Just be cool. You know what I mean? Like, be cool. Just do that. That's all. That's my motivation for today. Just be fucking cool. Don't be weird. Fuck. So many fucking weird people out there that do shit just to do shit to see if they can get away with it. Like, stop. Anyway, back to recapping the card. 2 out of 3, 2 wins, 1 loss in the NBA. NBA is over. Thank God. We will be diving into college football starting tonight. I'm going to be previewing the first football game of the year that's going to be over in Dublin. It's TCU and UNC. The Horned Frogs and the Tar Heels playing over in Dublin. As of right now, TCU is favored by 6.5, and the over-under, I believe, is 52.5. So we're going to do a deep dive into their season previews for both teams, and I'm going to try to do a season preview for every team in the Big Five. I'm not going to go crazy and do the smaller conferences. I'm going to do some of the better teams in the smaller conferences. The big conferences, we'll do a deep dive into all that. But now the NBA is over, I've been focusing on college football, getting it ready for the past 3 weeks so we can really dive into it and give you some actionable information. I know it's early, but put this information in the back of your lizard brain and you can use it accordingly when the time comes, and you can watch the markets move in real time, because you know what most people aren't doing right now? They're not looking at these lines, but they're out there and you can see how they're going to move and you can make money on it. So that's enough of my NCAA football talk. But to get you prepped for it, we have season previews coming for every week 0, every week 1 game, a deep dive, transfers in, transfers out, coaching changes, all that jazz. I'm going to have all of that for you to do what you will with it. Season win totals, things like that. College football awards. I've got a few that I like for the Heisman. Some good stuff coming for college football. NFL as well. I'm going to put NFL off until training camp starts, because, you know, people get hurt, they start dropping like flies. So I don't even want to jump into that until at least give me a week or 2 of training camp to make sure nobody gets hurt. But that's enough football talk, because that is off in the wilderness and we will come upon it shortly, and then we'll be inundated with it. And by the middle of October, I'll be exhausted. But in the meantime, my one true love is the WNBA. So I will recap what we did yesterday in that. And in the Connecticut Sun Indiana Fever game, we had Connecticut plus 8.5. The line opened at 10.5, and I should have grabbed it right then, because Connecticut ended up losing by 10. If I would have had the 10.5, I would have won the bet. A bunch of money came in on Connecticut, dropped it all the way down to 8.5, and they lost by 10. We lost the bet. We also had Aaliyah Boston under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Rarely does she go over that number, but she did yesterday, so we ended up losing that bet, which is completely fine. The other loss was, which I knew, Vegas and Minnesota, they play fast. And Las Vegas, we had the under 174.5. That thing went flying over. We had, under 174.5. Las Vegas won 197. But the good part about that was a 1 loss on that game. The 2 wins we had Minnesota plus a 3.5. So we won by the hook, because they only lost by 3. We had 3.5. And we had Olivia Miles over 16.5 points. The young lady scored 29. All right. Olivia Miles is officially in the MVP talk as of right now. She's not going to beat out Asia Wilson. She's definitely going to get Rookie of the Year. I'm glad I got her when I did at 3-1 odds at the beginning of the season for Rookie of the Year. On to the next game, we had Portland and Dallas. We had the over 169 and a half. Paige Beckers didn't play yesterday. She's got a shoulder injury, which kind of sucks. And I still like the over with that, but we only missed it by a bucket. The over was 169 and a half. They ended up scoring 167, so we missed that by a bucket, which stinks. But so it goes. And like I said, back to Dylan Harper in the NBA. Yeah, with over 14 and a half, he ended up scoring 25 points. So that was a great one. And then the last two, we had the Los Angeles Sparks on the money line against the Paper Tiger Phoenix Mercury. And they won in overtime, 111-102. These girls are putting up points, man. These overs are coming through. As I said, these overs are coming through in a big way. And we also had Mabu, Kelsey Plum, over 30 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. She had 52. Her and Kalia Copper were battling yesterday. It was dope. Both of them put up 40. Game went to overtime. It was dope. It was really cool. And we had a winning day. So if you're following along in the Pickett and or Juice Reel app, you'll see the soccer bets and the football bets that I don't even talk about on the show because, again, like I said, most people don't really care about that. But today we are going to get into the baseball first, WNBA second, as usual. I think it just started raining outside. All righty. Anyway, this card's already locked in. This game starts in about an hour. I will have this edited and out to you within that hour, so you'll have time to get this. If not, you can grab it live, but they got the best ticket. They've got the best team in baseball as an underdog against the Mets. Again, bet the Braves on Friday. We ended up losing that one. Strider ended up his arm just he can't stay healthy, but I bet him again yesterday as underdogs. They came through and won with Perez on the mound. And today I've got Bryce Elder. You're giving me plus money on Bryce Elder. He's having the best year of his career. He's got a 2.66 ERA, 1.05 whip, 3.46 FIP. And that says FIP tells you everything. It's not luck. And he owns the Mets. He's got a 3.91 ERA against them. And they're coming with Freddie Peralta. He's a 4.04 ERA, but a 1.32 whip. And that 3 points of difference between him and Bryce Elder is the difference between the Braves winning and Braves losing. And I think the Braves bullpen is better, better team, better bullpen. That's it. And full transparency on the money. A lot of DraftKings dollars are on the Braves. Some books disagree. I'm going to take Bryce Elder with the plus money every time. I don't always follow the sharp money. Sometimes I do, but this is one of those times where I'm not. Call it hometown bias or whatever, but the Braves are by far the best team in baseball. And anytime I'm getting plus money on them, I'm going to take them. The other bets we have in baseball today are we are taking the Padres on the money line against the Orioles, and then we're taking the Astros first five against the Orioles. Jesus, sorry. Padres, Orioles, Braves, Mets, Astros first five. And wait, Astros are not playing the Orioles. Maybe we'll edit it, whatever. But anyway, Rangers. No, yesterday was the Rangers. It doesn't matter. I'm all over the place. We're on the Astros first five, Braves first five. And I was going to be on the Brewers, but I am not going up against Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies. That dude him and Mizorowski are just going to be for the Cy Young. Let them have at it. So in short, I'll give you the card real quick. One more time. Braves on the money line, Padres on the money line, Astros first five money line. The Braves is for more than a unit. The Padres is for about a unit. Astros is for about a unit thereabouts. And we move on to the WNBA and today's card. For this, there's not a lot of action. There's two games, and I see a lot of opportunity. The same way I did yesterday, and I'm not beefing against my model and my analytical stuff, but sometimes, when you stare at the numbers long enough, especially on the spreadsheets that I look at to come up with these numbers, they start doing somersaults and flip-flops, and sometimes I don't know what I'm looking at, and then smoke a little weed, and then it gets a little squirrely, and that's when I just kind of close the iPad, put it down, take a break, come back to it. And I'm glad I did that because I had a couple things backwards and I got it straight. So I want to walk it like I talk it with you and get to the window with this thing. First of all, it's the hometown here, Atlanta Dream against Toronto Tempo. They've got Atlanta's minus 6.5. The New York Liberty are playing the Washington Mystics, who just had a buzzer beater to beat these Toronto Tempo. At first, it looks like the line for the Mystics is too high. Then you got to realize Kiki Iriefin is out, and she is one of their vital bigs that plays down low. New York has extremely experienced bigs, and Washington losing one of those is a problem. So we are not getting. Initially, I wanted to get on the side of the Mystics plus the 13.5. I think it's upwards of 14. Kiki Iriefin's out. Sabrina Ionescu's in. I still think this line is inflated too much, but not enough to bet it. So the one I do like is Toronto plus 6.5. And in plain terms, my model says, Atlanta should win by a touchdown. But something quieter, something more interesting that showed me on the market is that Toronto was pulling in the real cash in the spread with barely half the tickets on them. So at 6.5, it jumped up to 7. As soon as it hit that 7, it came back down because 7 is a key number in basketball. Once you get to 7, you can't hit 2 3. It was 6.5 is a good number too, but once you get to 7 in basketball, hitting 2 threes to tie the game is out of the window. That's a key number in basketball. So 6.5 is worth the trip to the window. Fewer bets on Toronto, bigger money on Toronto. I'm always going to follow the big money, despite what my model says. And matter of fact, my model says that this game should be closer to almost, which I don't know about that. It almost says it should be a pick 'em, but no, I'm not going to do it. But give me the 6.5. You're giving me more than 2 possessions. The Dream on the road their home court advantage is getting up there. The Dream's home court advantage is becoming one of the better ones in the league. The city's lit when they play. It's too bad when they played New York the other day, the city was lit and then they got blown out by 14. That sucked. But New York is New York. They pay good money for that roster and it's coming through. And now Sabrina Ionescu is coming back. So we're going to see what they're about. But on to New York and Washington. This is where this thing gets a little saucy. A big fat number on a team that just won a game at home isn't free money. Especially if the line keeps running away. This line was 12, then it went to 12.5, then it went to 13, then it went to 13.5. Then I saw the 14. I was just like, Jesus, man, like after 14, maybe it's worth the play if you like it. Man, I might have to get on that. It's too many points. And New York wins games, but they do cover. But they've won like 6 or 7 in a row and they've covered 5 out of those 7 or 4 out of those 6, one of the 2. But the number's just climbing all morning, and I just can't. I'm not trying to catch a falling knife, which is what this number is doing. But the look here, especially with Kiki out, is the under. The totals are set at 166.5. Opened at 168. It's dropped a full 2 points with Iriefin injury, the travel spot, and the eye test of watching this team. They just put up 86. They won 86-85 against Toronto the other night. I think this New York Liberty defense is going to have something to say about that. I don't know if they get to 80. And Washington's defense is good as well. So I just think I don't need to be right. I just need the bet to be right. Could this go left? Yes, because the Liberty are potent. They're a very potent offense. They can score. But there's so much money at Circa on the under with only, I think it was 24% of the tickets and 93% of the money was on the under 166.5. It's supported by the Sharps. I'm going to follow the Sharps when necessary. Sometimes I fade them. Sometimes I go with them. This is one of the times I'm going to follow them. Unders are scary in the WNBA. You saw that the other day. So that's it for that. As far as those two go, Toronto plus 6.5 and the under 166.5. And I am going to get into the prop card. Sorry, I just got a text message. It's important. All right, on to the prop card. This is where we pay the bills. This is where we did it yesterday. So let's do it again today. Toronto does not have a front court that is formidable enough to do any damage or cause any real concern against a team like a New York, like a Las Vegas, like an Atlanta. And Angel Reese has been playing out of her mind. And this is my favorite bet on the board. I'm getting plus money on this. I'm taking Angel Reese over 12 and a half rebound. She's gone over this number in 7 out of the last 10. On a bad night, she's going to get 8 or 9. Toronto they just give it up inside. They do. This line is soft. I think she's good for 14. Throw that in your prize picks and your DraftKings or the, what is it? Underdog, that one. The fantasy joints. I just really like this Angel Reese play, and different game, same thing with Kiki Iriefin being out for the Mystics. Shakira Austin over 8.5 rebounds. Not necessarily points. You could look at her points too, because her and Sonia Citron are going to have to get after it to keep this game competitive as their scoring options. But with Kiki out, Austin is the player who's going to directly inherit those front court minutes on the boards. I'm not going to say the line was set before the math set in, but 6 of her last 10, she's gone over the number. And the bump without Kiki playing, over 8.5 rebounds. I think she's good for 10. Next up is Sonia Citron of the Mystics. She's gonna have to ball for them to have a chance. Over 16.5 points. New York's guard play isn't bad by any means, but it leaves a lot to be desired. And I think Sonia can get over this up and over this 16.5 points, and I'm getting plus money on it. Smaller unit size. The first 2 are full units. This one's a smaller unit size. And the next one against a Dream, I'm going to take Marina Mabry over 18.5 points. I was looking at Brittany Sykes, and Brittany Sykes played for the Dream for a little while. And maybe she's got something to prove. I don't know. But I think Brittany is more of a creator. So Marina Mabry, I like her to go over 18.5 points. And Toronto's a home dog. If they keep this game competitive, which I think they will, that's why we took them plus the 6.5. They're going to need her to score. And I think she's able to do that. It's a smaller play again, but it is a good play. And the price point is good at even money. Sonia Citron's at plus money. Angel Reese is at plus money. The only prop we're playing juice on is Shakira Austin over 8.5 rebounds. And that's it for the card today, guys. Angel Reese over 12.5 rebounds. Shakira Austin over 8.5 rebounds. The Toronto Tempo plus 6.5. Washington Mystics, New York Liberty under 166.5. Sonia Citron over 16.5 points. Marina Mabry over 18.5 points. We are taking the Atlanta Braves to beat the Mets. We are taking the Houston Astros first half of the game to win the first half. And we are taking, and then it's kind of a reach, but we're taking the Padres against the Orioles. We got Walker Buehler. And that's it for the card, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, watching, liking, and subscribing to the video. Tomorrow will be Christopher and myself with a reaction from losing our 10-1 Spurs bet, our reaction to the USA dominating Paraguay, our reaction to the USA playing Australia next Friday, and Australia just dominated Turkey, which was a massive upset. But lots to talk about tomorrow, so we'll have a good long pod for you, and we'll have one for all my golf people. The U.S. Open, we'll have our resident golf professional, Dr. Rowdy James Hope, who sucks at making golf picks. I'll tell him that to his face, and I'll tell him on the internet. His golf picks have been terrible, so hopefully he can make some kind of a good golf pick and we can make some money off this guy. Or I'm going to throw him off the podcast. I'm going to fire him because he sucks. He's my brother, and I can say that. So you all have a good day. Do not bet what you can't afford to lose. If a bet makes you sweat, you're not doing it right. This is Jemiah from the To The Window Sports Betting Podcast. See you guys on the other side. Love.